Well, as a diaspora of Africa, because the African diaspora of which we are a part have been designated by the African Union as the sixth region of Africa. We have been seeking to work more closely with the AU and with the African countries to develop trade and investment links. For the last 4 years or so, we've been intensifying that. As you would have heard, we had the first real experience of mutual support from the African continent during COVID, when we had the difficulty accessing vaccines and other materials that we needed to treat with the COVID pandemic. And what that taught us is that when things go awry, it's your friends who come to your aid. And it's given great impetus to us to seek and make meaningful long-term relationship building with the African continent. And of course, it takes place at various levels. Governments meet to make policy, but real action in terms of investment happens from people, happens from the private sector, happens from the artists who want to get to know one another and work together. So we are hoping that as a result of all of these discussions, we're going to see more of that people-to-people kind of engagement that will ensure that the relationship that we are building with the African continent has real meaning and impacts ordinary people where they live. What we need to do is to work with the private sector, ensure that they are able to do their work. Transportation, whether for goods or for people, follows business. So it's not transportation first, it's growing them together. So there's a need for a lot of conversation and a lot of work to unearth the best way of doing this, because it's a private sector determination at the end of the day. It's about profit. The private businesses invest where they will have a rate of return that they can live with. That means that people-to-people relationships, contact, business opportunities need to grow, because the more of that we have, the greater will be the ability to generate travel and traffic to justify airlines establishing routes that can sustain over the long run. Let me put it this way, there is a lot of interest. And as the old economists used to say, it is self-interest that leads to investment in the long run. So there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of desire to learn about opportunities. There's an undertaking taking place already among the chambers of commerce and the private sector organizations in Africa. So they're coming together in the business partnership. So there's that kind of work, getting to know one another. And getting to know one another is an important absolutely. That leads to developing the kind of basis for business opportunity, because you do business with who you know. That is why the arrangements between the chambers of commerce, our CARICOM private sector organization, and the private sector organizations of Africa is so important, because it means they are building those relationships that are important to sustain business relationships. Yes.